following is an unpaid preview for a game seeking funding on Kickstarter. The product seen here is a work in progress and is subject to change during the duration of the project. Hi everyone, I'm Ferdinand the Cardboard Stacker, and I have here a special guest with me in this Kickstarter preview. This is
Jim Keifer.
Yes, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me, Ferdinand.
Yeah, and I stumbled upon your game during a one of the Strategicon events, and I liked how it looked, and I called you up, and then here we are.
Here we are.
So first of all, this is a game that it's called Sherlock, Holmes, and Moriarty's Web. It's a Kickstarter going on right now. When is it ending?
Let's see. We'll end at the end of the month. We started at the beginning of the month. It's a 30-day run. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah. Jim has worked in the game industry for quite a while. So go ahead and talk about that.
Sure. Well, I've worked in games my whole career. I started, so it's well over 30 years. I started as a designer at Milton Bradley. I've worked at Parker Brothers. I started the Mattel Games Group at Mattel, and most recently was the VP of Design at Spin Master. But about for the last 4 years, I went out on my own to be an inventor, and we've got several games on the market, much more coming. We've got a game called Rotten Apples, which is right now, I think you can pick that up in Target. And we've got a game called All In from a company called Patch, and you can see that at Barnes & Noble. And we have just hitting the shelves a preschool game called Fish and Chips, which is going to be at Walmart and Toys R Us, I believe. So anyway, lots of fun. I've been doing it my whole career. I love games, always have, love to play them, love to invent them, love to refine them, love to just do anything, love to play them. This Kickstarter game is different because it's a Kickstarter. I've never done one. Mm-hmm. And I got together with my daughters, who actually, frankly, they are the driving force with this, and I've kind of taken on a mentorship role. But they have really driven the design and the development, and it's in terms of inventing the game and also doing all of the artwork for it, and frankly, much of the promotion around it, the video.
So a whole family business.
It is totally a family business. Yeah. In fact, my wife helped in the development. She's an artist, a painter, Kathleen Keifer, and she does a lot of contemporary landscapes. You'll see her in galleries all over the country. And then my youngest daughter has helped with the development and the promotions as well. She's out in New York at the moment.
Oh, cool! And that's where the other game is. The other prototype of the game.
Yeah, there's 2 prototypes. That's why there's no reviews. We don't have. There's a lot of work that goes into making it, and frankly, we've been working like crazy to hit all of the dates because we're working with the factory in China. They need all the files and everything, and we're all scheduled because we're going to, for a premium price on the Kickstarter, you get it before Christmas, which, and all the increased costs is just simply the air freight and everything to get it all quickly.
That Kickstarter stuff and fulfillment.
Okay. Otherwise, it will be available in late January.
Yeah. And one more thing, go ahead and talk about your. I think you already talked a little mention about it, but your game company.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Well, Keifer Arts is the name of our company. Frankly, it's been around a long time. It started with my wife, who is a painter. Mm-hmm. So Keifer Art was the name of the company, and we've also joined into that with the game design and invention. So this is our first actual game that we're making ourselves with our own logo on it and all of that, which is a lot of work.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get into the game right now. So, game again is Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty's Web. So, what kind of game is this?
Sure. Well, this is a cooperative game, Ferdinand. And I love cooperative games. When they're done right. Mm-hmm. Everybody plays together. You're playing one of the characters in the world of Sherlock Holmes, the universe. Everybody plays the role of one of the major characters in the universe of Sherlock Holmes. The object of the game is to solve all of the unsolved crimes that are ravaging around London, and they are represented by these tiles.
Really cool, like little elixir bottles or something.
Right. Yeah, a little poison bottle. And you do that by picking locations. There's different tiles that represent locations, witnesses, clues, and informants. And on your turn, players' turns, you draw a tile, and then you can connect them by matching the symbols on the board. So for instance, here, this is Baskerville Hall, and that actually connects up with Moriarty, who's in this represented in the center. So the object of the game is to get Moriarty connected to these crimes, therefore we would solve them. And so we may draw another tile, say this is an informant. An informant can potentially here connect to Baskerville Hall, and that is, who is that? That's the newspaper man. Mm-hmm. And all of these characters and all of these locations are right out of the canon. And my daughter Lucy, who's the main driving force with this game, she's part of a lot of Sherlock Holmes fan clubs. There's a lot in New York. They're in Europe, and it's actually amazing. There's this whole community of people that just love Sherlock Holmes, and I've met so many of them, and they're wonderful. And my exposure is more from the TV shows, and I've read a couple of the books.
Mine's only the movie.
I have
the book. The movie's pretty good. I liked it, but I do have the book, but I haven't read it yet, so I think I might pick it up this fall.
Yeah, well, there's a whole bunch of them. It's a whole canon. It's a whole collection.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing here is I'm placing, there's let's see, those are our witnesses. This is the flower cellar, and if you just can place them in such a way that they're connecting up, and then ultimately you're looking to be able to match one of the clues on the actual
board. So the
board.
Sides of the tiles have a design which you match up with the other ones, and that's how they are placed. And what's really cool, I really like, is that the tiles themselves, they're all like really funky different shapes.
Yes, and each shape represents. Here, I finally solved one there.
Oh, good.
Or hold it. No, I didn't. No.
Oh, no.
No, it was this one. The theft of the naval treaty, and you can see how that hooks up. And now the naval treaty hooks up all the way to Moriarty in some sort of a chain, and then that crime is solved. But when you can solve every crime that's on the table, then you win.
Yeah. So that's including all the ones here, or just on the table?
On the table that are in play. Now, what happens at the end of your turn, every player's turn, they're going to draw Moriarty cards. And they draw as many Moriarty cards as there are unsolved crimes. So in this case, there were 4. We just solved 1.
So he's going to mess up your game.
So now he's going to draw 4 cards, and these cards will do all sorts of things. It will say, a clue disappears, and then all of a sudden you lose that clue. Well, now that naval treaty, the theft of the naval treaty, that's not solved anymore. They kidnap characters, witnesses, informants, even the characters yourselves, you actually are on places on the board. If your tile gets removed, you get kidnapped by Moriarty, and then your compatriots have to come and rescue you at some point. Also, the Moriarty deck can tell you to put another crime out on the table.
Oh, yeah,
and then what happens is this delicate balance between unsolved crimes, how many Moriarty cards you're going to have to draw, and how damaging are the cards to your case. And we all work together, and that's what's so fun about it. Is really, you can have somebody who's very, quite good playing games, and then somebody who's maybe, kind of just a beginner. you can still play together because you're just talking and helping each other out. So that's in essence the game. Every character has their own ability, which really helps things out. So, for instance, in the way the game is played right now, I mean, the way the game is played, each character has 2 moves that you're allowed to make on your turn, and a movement consists of just moving from one tile that's connected to another. When you're on a tile, then you can do all sorts of rearranging to anything connecting to that tile. But you're limited to 2 moves, except for Sherlock Holmes, who has unlimited moves. And this whole board is inspired by the case maps that Holmes will do when he pins everything on a wall.
It looks exactly like it when you're playing the game.
Well, that was the inspiration. Lucy said, "Geez, that's a great game. Look at that," because you just have all here's pictures of it's all sorts of stuff. It's pictures of clues of the crime scene, of witnesses, of suspects, and they're all connected with string, and they do it like that. It's like, well, that's what this is representing with the tiles all over the board. So Holmes can do that. Let's see. John Watson. His special power is that he can protect tiles. So if he can actually protect up to 2 tiles, he kind of straddles them. But then those particular clues or witness or whatever it is protected from Moriarty cards. And that's real important. And that's a good role. And then usually in the end of the day, the person who's playing the role gets to make the decision of what to actually do with them. But they get all sorts of advice and suggestions from everybody else. Irene Adler, the woman, her power is she gets to look at the tiles at the top of them before she picks one. Like I mentioned at the beginning or earlier, or during your turn, you get to draw one tile and put it up on the board, but you don't know what it is except the shape. By the shape, you can tell whether it's a witness or a clue or a location or an informant. But Irene gets to flip them all over, look at them, because she and kind of say, oh, let's see which one is going to work best for me, and then flip them back. So they all have different powers. Lestrade gets to jump around the board. You don't even have to be connected. Mycroft has a great one. He gets to see the crimes, the Moriarty cards before they even happen, which is what Mycroft does. And he gets to potentially solve crimes before they happen. So a lot of fun. It really fits in with the canon, and the gameplay is very well balanced. It took a long time to get it right because it's a cooperative game with multiple characters playing different types of abilities, and you're playing against the game. So
I really can't wait to see this in full production and see the final the product of it. So I guess that's all the time we have now. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we leave?
Well, I'm new to the Kickstarter, the whole process. Our Kickstarter is going well, but what I see most important is that it's just such a wonderful experience to have just the people that love the games and play the games just make them happen. So please go to our Kickstarter site. It's
I'll go ahead and put it in the description.
Put it
below.
at the end.
Yeah.
And if you can support us, great. And we'll get you a wonderful game. It's super high quality stuff. It's coming out of I've been working with this the factory for years. So it's all going to be great. And share it with your friends. That's the other thing I'm learning big time. It's if you share it, that helps a lot, So that's what we need to make this happen.
And that's what happened at Strategicon. So anyway, it is on Kickstarter now, so you can go ahead and pledge your support for it. And it ends at the end of the month. Right? Okay. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. And remember to keep on stacking games.
Thank you.